being grateful and really appreciating what you have is something that unfortunately not everybody does. Not everybody thinks about it in that way, but I think if you think about it in that way and you are grateful for the opportunities that you have, not only are you going to be happier, but you're going to be more motivated. I came in here, kind of hit the ground running, not only for myself and my family, but to do well for him and his company and show him how much I appreciate the opportunity that he's truly given me and coming out of hockey, like you said, it's not easy. It's not easy to do. There's some days you wake up and you're like, whoa, I'm not a hockey player anymore. But truly being truly grateful is definitely will be a huge factor in your mental health as well.
Welcome, Tom. Welcome, Travis. We'll introduce, obviously, Travis, who's our guest here, University of Michigan, 4 years, played professionally for a hell of a long time. So we all have a lot in common, too. Played in different countries as well. So we'll get into that. But I want to thank everyone for jumping on. Before we jump into this, I'll let you know that this podcast is brought to you by REVA Global, which is a premier virtual assistant company that works with a bunch of different individuals and a bunch of different kind of businesses, not only real estate, but also medical, bookkeeping, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and obviously the mortgage world, which we'll get into with Travis here. But Tom, why do we do this podcast, brother? Why do we do it?
Good morning, everyone. We are doing this podcast because three idiots like us figured out a way to transition into the business world from the best game in the world that probably has taught us a variety of different things to transfer into the next phase of life. And there are guys that, kind of struggle when they're getting out of the game. They don't know what they're going to do. They don't know how to find that passion to fuel their belly on what's next. And this platform is apparently reaching out to a lot of people who are going through that. And we're building something here. I'm very excited about it, but this is basically to get a way to give back, still be involved in the game, and also, network and help grow a brand and do business potentially with guys like Travis in different parts of the country where, we are in multiple states. So if we can help each other out, that's the purpose of this.
Yeah, very good, very good. And we're also, we also have a real estate investment company. We did over 240 transactions. Tom's killing it right now. A company called Perch Rock. So check us out as well if you guys are interested. We have a bunch of hockey guys that reach out to us. Reach out to Travis after this too. Obviously, we'll give all his contact information. But anyway, Travis, dude. Hell of a resume, dude. I love it. I love it a lot. A lot in common, obviously. I played in the DEL as well. Played in a bunch of different places in Europe. So did Tom. Played a bunch of different places in Europe. So give us a quick rundown of what you're doing now, a little bit of your background, and what you're doing right now. We'll dig into it.
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having me, gentlemen. I've been listening to your show, and I really enjoy listening to it. And another Michigan guy on here. I think y'all have had Palooza, Nystrom, Lee Maffey, so love that. Another Michigan guy. Went to University of Michigan, signed with Buffalo Sabres out of Michigan, played in their system for about, I'd say 3 years and parts of 4. Headed over to Europe and started my real estate investing journey while I was over there. Obviously, investing in the United States, not in Europe. But it was, during the time I was playing over there, I actually started investing in real estate while I was playing for the Cologne Sharks, the Kölner Haie. A guy by the name of Ryan Jones, who I was playing with. He's a former Edmonton Oiler. He's now living in the Minnesota area. He was kind of showing me some properties he had and kind of all the cash flow and introduced me to bigger pockets and that kind of stuff. And, that kind of just got my wheels spinning. And that year, coincidentally, I got hurt, and it was an injury that was something I wasn't sure I'd be able to recover from. And I was just dove headfirst into real estate. I probably read over 100 books in that year being injured, listened to thousands of hours of podcasts, and bought my first rental right after that season, which was pretty amazing to do, to dive in and get that first deal done. And I've done a lot of different deals in a lot of different areas and sectors of real estate since.
Sweet. Let's break that down, because there's a lot of stuff there, obviously. Let's talk first. Did you graduate from University of Michigan?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I graduated from University of Michigan, general studies. Like you guys, I thought I was going to play in the NHL for a really long time. I had no idea what I wanted to major in school. I went to school for the sole purpose of playing in the National Hockey League. My dad, I'm not sure if you're familiar with his career. He played in the National Hockey League for, I believe, 10 seasons, with the Blues, the Canadians, and Jets. And a lot of the people I was around growing up, were family to us, but also his teammates, because he's originally from Canada.
Yeah.
So guys like Bernie Federico and Rob Ramage and those families. So, yeah, I kind of didn't know whether I was going to go major, junior, or college. Then Red Berenson came and talked to me after a game in Chicago against the Chicago Steel, and I decided that's where I wanted to go.
So I got a funny story for you. I think you I watched one of your videos. I think it was on Instagram, but you posted something. Did you bring up Basil McRae's name before?
Yeah, so Philip McRae, Basil's son, is one of my really good buddies.
Okay. You want to hear a funny story? So I was in St. Louis camp. Tom, I don't know if I told you this, but so I literally just signed from BU, and I played I played for the minor league team after April when we lost to actually Michigan in the Frozen Four. This is back in 96. Year after that, I'm playing against Basil. Basil's on the ice, and I don't see him. You got Brett Hulls on the bench, and I got the puck in my skates, right? And, someone's going to hit you. I reverse checked them. Basil McRae right in his back. I'm like, oh, fucking shit. I kid you not. I'm like, and the whistle blows, and I'm like, oh, no. This is the first time I had no mask. I'm like, I'm shitting my pants, right? Yeah. And the whistle blows, and Brett Hulls like, you gonna let that college pussy fucking run your show back? Dude, I kid you not. And he's hacking me in the back. I had the worst camp ever after that. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's gonna kill me. Oh, so
you were terrified. Yeah. And that was the old days where, the respect for the older guys too, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah.
I almost got on my knees and be like, sorry, Mr. McRae, would you just get up? Sorry, man, I'm going to go get you a coffee after this.
Yeah, seriously. Did he ever do anything or?
No, it was actually good. He's like, he knew I wasn't a fighter. I was more of a playmaker kind of guy. And he's like, I probably will kill this young kid. So I'll give him a free pass. But it was actually pretty funny. But anyway, I wanted to tell you that right when I saw one of your videos. I'm like, I can't wait to tell the story to you.
Yeah, we love the McRaes. I've known them since I was a little kid. But Basil, super tough cookie there. Definitely not that you want to get in a fight with.
No, not at all. So let's get back to you and the transition, because I think it's important. We talk a lot about mentors and networking. You had Ryan Jones there that got you into it, right? And you did not have a degree, so this is an important part. You didn't even use your degree at all to get into business. So I think this is important. Or did you?
No. So a little bit further into my investing journey, I'd done a couple deals, just with some lenders that were in the, St. Louis area, which was fine and everything. But I got to a point where, I needed to scale, and I wanted a relationship. And that's what actually brought me here. I've been doing all my deals here the last 6 or 7 years. I got introduced to Clint Garner, who's the president of Stonebridge First Financial Group. And, I'd heard wonderful things. And, he was a friend of my father's and actually my agent. And so I came over here and we did that first deal together. And I was treated so well and opened so many doors for me that, we just kind of created this awesome relationship over the years. And, as the last couple of years, we kind of got into some talks and, about what I want to do. And he said, Travis, like I can tell, you're super passionate about real estate. What would you think about coming down here to work for me in this industry? Because, obviously it's in the real estate sector and it's something I'm passionate about. Right. And he's like, come on down to Alabama. And to be honest with you, my initial thought was Alabama. Like I didn't know anything about Alabama. I'd never been to Alabama. We spent a lot of off seasons between St. Louis, and then we had a Airbnb or VRBO, whatever you want to call it, short-term rental in Naples, Florida. I kind of thought, we'd be in one of those two places. Well, came down to Alabama. He showed us around, and man, this place is beautiful. The people are wonderful. And me and my wife looked at each other and we said, you know what, this is it. Let's do it. We're around great people, great like-minded people that just want to do good. And so it's been a really great fit.
Love it. So I will take another step back because let's talk a little bit about Ryan Jones and obviously the gentleman, Stonebridge. It's Stonebridge, right? Stonebridge Financial?
Yes.
Cool. And that's a connection from hockey. So we obviously this is why the hockey world is really important on building your network and so on and so forth. Because obviously the owner of this company brought you in from obviously for a relationship with your dad and your agent, which is pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about Ryan Jones. Like what appealed to you first? First of all, what injury did you get?
I tore my groin. It was a weird thing. I was like I was trying to change and a guy kind of clipped me while I was changing. And I felt this like big pop, in my groin and sat out the rest of that game, sat out for a couple of weeks, kept trying to come back. They kept telling me like I was fine. It was this, it was that. And then I had to, I kept getting cleared. I knew it wasn't right. I blame myself for trying to play through it. It actually, in turn, ended up costing me a lot of money. They fired me after the season for not producing, whatever.
Yeah.
I thought I was being a great teammate, and but at the end of the day, we all know how that works. And I was naive in that. I was coming off a bunch of really great seasons. I think I was over 40 points. My first year, I think like 46, won the championship the next year. I had a ton of points in the playoffs. Then went back to Dusseldorf where I was, had another, great year, went to Sweden, did well, went to Cologne, tore my groin. And then all of a sudden it was like tough for me to get a job after they fired me.
Yep.
So that's, I just was like, all right, well, what am I going to do after hockey? I didn't know. I was still 26 or 27 at this point. No, I think I was 28. Let's say 28. But I wasn't ready to be done. And I thought, all right, well, what am I passionate about? And he started showing me this stuff. And it was like, one of those things where, when you're in school and you go through different, let's say you're in history and you can't get enough of reading about it. You're so into it. And then you go into biology or something and your eyes are rolling in the back of your head. You can't focus on it. Well, it was like that for me with, history, where it was like, wow, I could not get enough of real estate, reading about it. It's tangible. We had just built a house and I thought that was cool. Going, me and my wife kind of going over all this stuff and how we were going to build it and the way we wanted it. It was just something that, was something we're really, really interested in.
Yeah, a lot of the same thing. Tom and I talk about this all the time. I pretty much the same story. Played 8 years, and then towards the end of the career, it's coming to an end. I didn't. For me, I had 4 knee surgeries. So who knows when I'm going to need a new knee? That's going to be soon, right? Obviously, there's only so much cartilage left in one's knee after you have 4 knee surgeries, right? But it's the same concept. I knew towards the end, I think I had 2 or 3 by that time, and I was like, shit, you know what? There's got to be something else. I left school early, 2 classes short of getting my degree too. So I was like,
oh yeah,
I got no fallback position. Yeah, I was like, screw it, man. I don't like fallback positions. If you have something to rely on, you're never going to put 2 feet into something. So I did the same exact thing, man. I started reading books, I bought courses, and I just, boom, jumped into it, started implementing it right away. Back in the day, I mean, we're fortunate now. Tom and I talk about this all the time. We're fortunate now. There's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of education. Back in 2004, dude, I door knocked for fucking 1 year straight, door to door, Monday through Friday, dude. I don't recommend doing it now. You don't have to do that anymore because you got cold calling, text messaging, direct mail, all that shit. But back in the day, it was different. But Tom, I know you got some questions there, Tom. So
I knocked on a door. I knocked on a door last week.
Did you?
I swear to God, I was driving by. I saw a for sale sign in the front yard, so I knocked on the door.
Yeah.
It is a great way, dude. It is a great way to get.
I mean, obviously,
100%.
we're not cavemen anymore. We're on a completely different level. But I was like, oh fuck, I'll just walk up to the guy and see what's going on. So mortgage world, why mortgages? Why is this your primary? I'm assuming. I mean, there's no barriers of entry in real estate. You can basically literally do 10 different things. We talk about that all the time, which is great, and why it makes this industry, spectacular. There's so many ways to make money. What kind of how'd you navigate towards the broker side?
Yeah, so great question. I'm not a broker. I'm a banker. I'm a mortgage banker, national mortgage banker. The main reason is, it's synonymous with, my real estate investing. I would say that, but the main reason is, my relationship with Clint, the person in the bank, the way I was treated, and the things and the doors that he opened for me, and the things that he has taught me. In my opinion, he's one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. So talking with him and just being in a room with him and being close, to him and learning about all different ways and creative stuff, and kind of all of, not just real estate, but investing and things like that was a big thing. But, we can truly do here things that, I haven't seen anybody else be able to do. And I'll get to that later. But I love to help friends and family and teammates. And, if you guys, when you guys get to know me a little bit deeper, like I truly will take my shirt off my back, for people that I care about and that treat me right. And I think that this gave me an opportunity to do that in the real estate world, to be able to help friends and help them scale their real estate investing or help them get into a house. My dad being Canadian, but married an American woman, there's a lot of hockey guys like that too. It's hard for them to get loans, or NHL guys that sign, they're Canadian or they're Swedish or wherever. There's situations back in COVID where visas were expiring and stuff like that. We can help from that because we are a bank and we don't have to, send everything to Fannie and Freddie and stuff like that. We can take some stuff in-house, which really opens a lot of doors for hockey guys, especially with the foreign income aspect and stuff like that. And we don't have, we're not a hard money lender. We have great rates. And then, we'll take it 6 months later if we can, make them Fannie and Freddie eligible, we'll do that. But we're also on the other end of the phone, to help anytime and kind of, we love to just give guys options if that's what they want. Or, some people, they want to know, they want to be told what to do, and what they should do. So we're very comfortable with that. And, that's something that I experienced when I was a client, and just the way that, I was treated and, the opportunities that I had because of this bank. And
so Travis, let me ask a question just in reference to that bank. Do you guys do this stuff nationally? And do you guys have like buy and hold products and things like that? So if someone's looking to build their portfolio, they could go to you and buy a house in Jacksonville, let's just say, or is it just local to you?
No, so we're licensed in all 50 states. We help, we can do, really anything. My expertise and, the 1 to 4 family, residential or investment properties or that. But we also do have a commercial expert here Her office is right next door. Her name's Julie. She's wonderful. So we can really create kind of that full service for people. So, and
I'll give you. I love that you guys are bankers too. So I would recommend whoever's listening to this, if you want to get into real estate, man, call Travis, because the most important part is working with a banker. I think if you work directly with a bank, it's a lot better than working with a mortgage broker. There's some fantastic mortgage brokers out there, but if you could go direct, Travis could cut through all the bullshit and tell you pretty much what you can and can't get financed, and what you could do and can't do. So I'll give you a plug here, because that's really, really important. Tom and I being in this industry for a long time, and knowing sometimes the hoops you got to jump through. So having a guy like you on the team is huge. So
well, thank you. And just to give you a little story here, so a couple of weeks ago, I got a call from a couple of ex-hockey guys who they were referred to me from another hockey guy. Their lender dropped them they couldn't get back to their lender, wouldn't get back to them after they'd been through the whole process. They were going to lose their deposit, whatever. They called me and said, Trav, can you save this deal? I looked at it, start to finish, we closed it in 7 days. So
nice.
We do all of our underwriting in-house. We can move very fast as long as you're put together and, you have your stuff ready to go, and we get title and appraisal, we can expedite that stuff.
Nice.
I don't love pushing it that fast, to be honest, but we're here to help, and things like that can make a big difference. And back to me, being taken care of that way, is a big reason why I wanted to be here, to be able to show, what we can do and help guys and I shouldn't say guys, help everyone. I'm just talking about hockey guys, but we've never spent $1 on marketing. I believe we've done, over $3 billion with zero marketing dollars. We're where you come when you're great, when you got great credit, where you got great assets. So it's been really fun.
Cool. We will 100% be reaching out to you, just us personally as well. So my business partner Adam as well, you and Tom. So we'll all get there, because obviously we do this on a pretty good scale. So we will be 100% reaching out to you. And this is one of the benefits, obviously, Tom. We talk about this a lot, is having gentlemen like you, obviously guys like you, ex-players on. We all love doing business together, right? Let's call it what it is. We can help each other out, man, and keep it in the community. Because for me, I trust every freaking hockey guy there is.
Yep,
it's the best.
Absolutely. And I think you said this on a previous podcast. Throw a dart at a map, you could probably find a hockey player in that area. And actually, just yesterday, I had one of my clients is looking for, a place that he can use in the off season, but where he can maximize his rent during the season as he's playing over in Europe. And I found a former hockey guy in the Scottsdale area for him and connected him. So, and I didn't even know, it's what you do, and it's what us hockey guys like to stick together. And the hockey world's amazing, because there's that sense of accountability, but there's also like that trust, and you want to do business with people you trust. That's just the bottom line.
Yep, agreed. Tom, let's keep going. Sorry about that. I interrupted you again.
No, you're good. So the beauty, in my opinion, I know we talk about it a lot, is that you can kind of, this industry, you look at an asset, you figure out how I can make money. What's my exit strategy on a deal? Am I flipping this? Am I going to hold it? Am I wholesaling it? Am I wholetailing it? Whatever it is. What most people don't understand is that, and I've kind of dug down the whole mortgage rabbit hole and lending and all that stuff, just because I'm obsessed with this stuff and I want to learn a little bit about everything in this industry. So I think what a lot of people don't understand is that you, as a lender, you don't make money on a high interest rate. You want to get people as low of an interest rate as possible, right? You make your money on processing loans, correct? So my question is, when you're looking at an individual trying to get them financing, at what point are you waving the white flag and saying, like, there's literally nothing I can do? And what separates you from these other jackasses out there that basically look at a file and are like, yeah, you're not bankable? Like, how do you make somebody bankable?
Yeah. So to answer your first question there, we want to save everybody the most amount of money that we possibly can, right? We can look at it and say, hey, look, this is what we can do for you at this time. We'll lay out, like I said before, we'll lay out all the options for them and explain it to them, be very transparent from the beginning. Work with them closely depending on, whatever the deal is. With the hockey guys, and we do deal with a lot of hockey guys here. If they're playing in, Europe, but they're Canadian, but are married to an American, we can find ways to find financing for them where most banks cannot. I could, staying within the regulations here and not talking about, names or anything like that. But, the other day, we got super creative. Guys buying a place in the Boston area. He's got great assets. He's got American credit, but he's not, he doesn't have like a visa in the U.S. right now because, he's an ex-NHL player, but now he's playing in Europe. Well, his fiance is American. So, we just get creative and we find ways to do it. We're going to take his in-house. We know he's going to pay his bills. You can go, pull international bureaus on people as well. Make sure that they have good credit. Things of that nature. We look at it from, obviously a banker standpoint. If they're worth lending to, we'll make common sense decisions and find a way, to make it work. And with being a bank, that helps as well too. Banks need deposits and stuff like that. So if you can find a way, if they're not eligible in other ways, to maybe get creative that way, there's a lot to it, to just not get too deep to bore you or bore anybody out there. But moral of the story is, we'll make common sense decisions on people.
Yeah, I get. Let me just dig into that because I think this is important. I want to take a step back because, where you are today is not where you were when you started, right? I think it's important really to dig into the journey because I like going back to see where people started because I know we all have stories. Tom has a story where he started. I have a story. I definitely did not end up where I started. I started door knocking, then I helped start a couple of real estate education companies, a virtual assistant company, and now we have a pretty sizable investment company as well. So you don't start at the beginning where you're going to end. So I think that's important. So can we take a step back? You got Ryan Jones got into this. You were self-educated. You read a shit ton of books. Then you bought your first property. Like, talk about that first property and then what you built, investment, and then obviously where you are today. Could we take a little step back before we?
Let's take a little step back. So this first property I bought, so growing up, one of my mom's best friends is a real estate agent. Back to, you want to do business with people that you trust, really trust her. The main thing for me was, she's also investing, so I had some criteria that I learned from Bigger Pockets, right? Like how to pick out your real estate agent. She obviously, I trusted her, but the main thing was, she also invests in real estate. She's in the area, grew up in the area. So our first place and, where we still have multiple rentals is in the St. Louis area. Took us around, kind of showed us the stuff. And what was really amazing about her too is, I'll be honest with you guys, as I was going through, after we got this property under contract, I kind of got scared. I was like, what happens if, I can't get it rented or what, it was just like, I was just nervous about it. And she goes, Travis, we ran all the numbers. You've done all the research. Everything looks good from your numbers, right? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, we'll do it. The house isn't going to zero. Real estate doesn't go to zero. You're going to be fine. And so it just was nice to kind of have her guidance. Her name is Christy Maselli. Give her a little shout out. She's an awesome realtor in the St. Louis area. That was the first one. And me and my wife went in there and we slapped a bunch of paint on the walls and, redid tile in a bathroom and got it up and it rented within 2 hours.
Nice. Love it. What happened after that?
We had a line out the door. So then that was our first one. Went back to Cologne, or went to Iserlohn actually, because Cologne fired me. Went to Iserlohn, started looking for our next property right away. Bought place in Naples, Florida, through another hockey guy, realtor there, Joe Cavanagh. Awesome realtor in the Naples, Florida area. Just giving shout outs everywhere. But, when people treat you right, you want to help them out, right?
Yep.
So he got us in a place there. Also, was rented even before we closed on it. We did a couple different ways with that. During COVID, we ended up switching it to an annual rental, but that property did great for us as well. And that's kind of how we started going. And we were kind of just picking up properties every off season. So as soon as the season was over, especially before I got into full-time training for the season, I would me and my wife, we'd go find a property, fix it up, and either live in it for that summer and the next one, or that summer, or flip it. We kind of were, with the way Europe is, we're taking advantage of the free living and the over in Europe, and fixing places up in the off season. So that's kind of what we're doing to boost more capital to buy more properties.
I like that. So quick question on that side of it. Who manages these? Because obviously there's a headache side of the other side, right? Buying the property is one thing, filling them in is another step, but management for a lot of people, right? If you don't get the right management company, or a lot of people manage themselves, what do you do?
Yep. So I started managing myself. That I didn't love doing. I didn't love getting messages, especially while I was over in Europe. It was too much, and I didn't want to think about it. You get a message on a game night that, toilets not working or AC units out. You just don't want to deal with that mentally, because you want to take care of people. I never wanted to, leave anybody without AC or something, or whatever the case was. As you guys know, investing, stuff happens in properties. I don't care if you have a brand new property. Eventually something's going to happen. So, and it's not like we were having a whole lot of stuff happen, but, just for peace of mind, I hired a property manager.
Good.
But, with the Airbnbs, I was still on the co-host side. But property managers for all of my properties now.
Good.
Also, we own a syndication with a guy by the name of John Parker in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we've done that. We've done, like I said, Airbnbs, flips, rental, buy and holds, kind of touch a lot of sectors.
Love it. I mean,
syndication, you don't even know it.
Sorry, what?
I said you and Bob might be part of the same syndication.
We might be.
I know. I dumped like $100,000, and I don't even know when it was. Like 8 years ago. So it's just sitting there making a little return. I'm like, whatever. So that's another way. That's another way to invest. But my opinion, I don't think I'll ever invest in another syndication because it's hard to get your money back out if you want it. So that's just my opinion. Again, I don't give any financial advice. I just give you what I've gone through. That's it. So.
Yeah. I mean, I like, John's a great guy, and I like John. That deal's awesome. I personally like doing my own deals.
Me too.
Better. You have more control, and talking about exit strategies and all that stuff. With when you're controlling it, and it's just you and your wife or you and your partner. It's a little easier. And speaking of partners, I do have partner. His name is Troy Burke. Played with him in Shawinigan. We're doing some deals together. We're actually looking for an Airbnb in the Gulf Shores, Orange Beach area here. The numbers are really good down here, and in my opinion, and like you said, not financial advice, this area is growing like crazy. Don't quote me on this, but I believe it's the fifth fastest growing county in the United States. People are just
Travis, I'll put you together with my business partner, Adam. You guys will have some good conversations, not only on the banking side, but also on the investment side. We have, I just came back from a mastermind that was down in Florida, and we have investor buddies all over the country that, you may be able to work with. So I'll put you in touch with him. He was also a hockey dude. He reffed after for a bit, and he had to retire for concussions. Didn't play pro, but he played He played in prep school before going to college. So
Yeah.
a hockey guy as well. So
Yeah, love it. Love it. Yeah.
Cool. Tom, I know we're coming to the time. We're coming to 33 minutes. So what else you got?
No, I just wanted to, I mean, this is a real estate podcast, but it is hockey related. So let's talk about the transition on when, you know, you knew it was time to basically, I don't want to say retire but in your last few years, you know, what mentally and physically were you going through to kind of, I want to say, prepare for the next step? And what advice would you give guys who hear these shows, who listen to this podcast, and basically they might have one foot out the door, you know, they're not completely checked out, but they're starting to think about what's next. What would you say to those guys?
Yeah. I would say don't retire until you're ready or you're kind of pushed out of the game. You know, for me, I was thinking about coming here last year, and I was really close to kind of retiring. I waited really long to sign. I'd even told, you know, I was a captain at Shawinigan Wild Wings, and I was having a really good season. I even told the GM there, I said, I just don't know. Give me some time. Ended up signing really late that I was going to play again. And, you know, I got there kind of going into that last season with that mindset that it was my last year. And I think it made it a lot easier on me mentally to find a way to enjoy it, enjoy that last season, kind of play every game like it's your last. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the truth, at least for me. And then it also kind of, I was excited about the next chapter and going into, you know, the real estate full time and the lending full time. I truly love what I do. I'm truly passionate about it. And I'm grateful for, you know, Clint for giving me this opportunity. I know not all guys have that opportunity, but what I can say, and I've said this to guys already, things will be fine after hockey. We do have a great network of hockey guys, and hockey guys love to help hockey guys, especially, you know, if you played at, you know, a certain university. So many guys from University of Michigan, where I went, have reached out, you know, in the last couple of years to see what I was going to do and stuff like that. And you'll have former teammates and people that you've met in the hockey world do that too.
Yep. One of the things I just want to highlight, and Tom, just I know you have a couple more questions that will go along with that, but one thing you said is really important. I think this is a takeaway that when we have individuals on this podcast and they say the word grateful, they're typically the more successful individuals, because when people are actually grateful for who they met along the way and where they're at and where they're going and their vision, you see more successful individuals. So I think, you know, that word right there is a huge, important word, because, you know, Tom and I, again, we talk about that all the time. You know, we're grateful that we get to work together on a daily basis. We're grateful that we, you know, make money together. We're grateful that we can help other people. We're grateful that we can do this stuff. And I'm not a religious dude. Trust me. I'm just throwing that out there. But I think the word grateful is very important, I think, especially in business, right? What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, you know, being grateful and really appreciating what you have is you know, something that unfortunately not everybody, you know, does. Not everybody thinks about it in that way, but I think if you think about it in that way and you are grateful for the opportunities that you have, not only are you going to be happier, but you're going to be more motivated. I came in here, you know, you know, kind of hit the ground running, not only for myself and my family, but to do well for him and his company and show him how much I appreciate the opportunity that, you know, he's truly given me and you know, coming out of hockey, like you said, it's not easy. It's not easy to do. You know, there's some days, you know, you wake up and you're like, whoa, I'm not a hockey player anymore, you know, but yeah, truly being truly grateful is definitely will be a huge factor in your mental health as well and feeling good.
That's right. Tom, take it away. I know we'll wrap it up. We're almost at 40. So
No, I think he touched on it great. I don't think that anybody in this business got to where they are today, whether they're just getting started or if they're, you know, seasoned investors and have, you know, 1,000 deals under their belt. someone needed to give them an opportunity to get going and to get started and to learn and to take under their wing. And, I mean, Bob, I'm not going to get into it, but Bob knows. And it's one of those things where I think it's the hockey player mentality of, coaches or GMs that gave you an opportunity back in the day. They gave you a contract. You want to go there. You want to perform. You want to make them proud and let them know that they made a good investment and a good decision by bringing you into their organization. And I mean, I treat this business just like I did sports. It's almost identical. I wake up every day. At the same time, have a coffee, go in the hot tub, get in the gym, and come to the office. And it's almost like going to the rink every day. And I'm trying to mimic the life that I knew for so long. And, the passion and the excitement and the culture that we're trying to build here. If you don't have a team on your side and basically having, the opportunity to work hard together every day and go through the bullshit and the grind and the ups, the downs, it just makes it so much more special. And my advice, and I know your advice would be the same, is to join a team. Don't think you could do it on your own, and basically have an attitude of gratitude every day. That's kind of my message.
Well, I think you said it even better, than I did. And, that we're living identical lives, man. I get up every morning, 5:30, go to the gym with a guy that I have in the office here. His name's Sean, awesome guy. So nice to kind of have that, approach it the same way. And if you're a hockey guy and you approach, life after hockey the same way that you did, and put everything into it, you're going to do just fine.
Love it. All right. With that being said, let's give some shout outs to Ryan Jones for helping to get into this business first and foremost, right?
Yeah, Jonesy. Thanks, buddy.
There is. We got Christy Maselli. You got Joe. I might butcher some names. We got Joe. We got John Parker. We got your partner, Troy, right now. And obviously Clint is a big mentor of yours as well. So obviously, this community, this hockey community, the individuals that we meet through the networks that we have through hockey are obviously why we do this. Incredible. But I recommend, Travis, what's the best way to reach out? I know you sent us all your LinkedIn, but you're on LinkedIn, you're on Instagram. What's the best? You got an email address or something?
Well, first I got to say, Bob, don't forget my wife. She has been amazing.
Your wife?
Yeah. With the real estate stuff too. She's been, I should have said that. Sorry, Case. Love you. You've been
Case, we love you. He actually talked a lot about you before.
Yeah.
So that's my fault. I'll take the bullet for this one. 100%.
She's
congratulations for your third daughter that's coming on the way, right?
Thank you. She's been an integral part of it. And she went to school for interior architecture and design. So she's amazing at making them look good too. So, and she can do all the stuff I can do. But anyways, T Turnbull 71 on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. I don't use as much. Probably the best way to get a hold of me is on Instagram or LinkedIn.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you very much. Anyone has any questions, obviously for Travis, reach out to me. You guys have his direct information. You guys can reach out to Tom and I ourselves. If you have any questions about real estate investing, looking to join a team, obviously we have a pretty good network here as well. So Travis, Tom, thank you very much. This is a phenomenal episode. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And yeah, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help either from the lending side or if you just need advice, I'm here. So
awesome. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.